Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we want to give our honor to the honor to our apostles, the elders, great millstone, who well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, doctor, across the four winds of the earth and all true and necessary. With the Mississippi camp, once again, come on highways and byways, prophesy the downfall of America. So we're gonna go and get into it.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 11. And that knowing the time that now it is high time, and to awake out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than we believe.
So now it's high time to wake out of sleep, man. I mean, and you look at what's going on, man. It's a very beautiful time that we're in, man, because we're seeing prophecies, man, really just blowing up, constantly coming back to back, man. You know, things are happening, man. You got everything going on with Israel and the Gaza Strip. You got everything going. You got Trump saying that he's gonna unleash the police departments across America. You got the head of the FBI saying he's going to deploy 1,500 agents to Memphis. You know, and we know that's going to be going other places, man. So they're strategizing to bring forth their rushing to Jacob's trouble, man. You know, so if you're not recognizing these things, not seeing these things, then you're in a dead state of sleep, man. But the Lord sent his prophets to tell you to wake up out of that dead sleep, man. And this is only going for the nation of Israel, starting with the elect, man. Okay? So you know, we're telling you, hey, time is running out. Wake your ass up. Go ahead.
There's the commentary on it. Says sleep means insensitivity to the demands of a Mashiach on the Mashiach's life. And here's the point. It says now is our salvation nearer, means the coming of a Mashiach to deliver us from this sinful world grows nearer every day.
Good. And one of the main things that shows that we're at the end and our salvation is near, man, is that we're seeing Jacob's trouble coming into fruition, man, steady growing. We see the technology of the MOTB being put out there in the open, man. We're seeing them bringing forth this AI intelligence, man, robots, you know, things of this nature. We see war growing up. And these are the things that were spoken of in the scriptures that's going to be happening, man, before the latter end, okay? Or during the latter end, before Yahweh's return, man. Hey, go ahead.
This is Matthew 24, verse 3. And he sat upon the Mount of Olives. The disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the signs of thy coming and of the end of the world?
Right. So, you got to read it.
Oh.
Okay. Well, read that one from the top. Well, the things we're seeing being prophets, man. You know, because we come back reincarnated, man. The spirit of the prophets are subject to the prophets, man. So we're seeing these things happening. We're seeing the signs that's being shown, and we're telling the people that these are the things that was going to be happening in the times before the end that the Lord has spoken of as they're actually occurring, man. Again, wars, rumors of war, pestilence, the love of many waxing cold, people becoming lovers of themselves, man. The big situation of the LGBT community thing, man. You know, and that's one thing that happens for course during Sodom and Gomorrah, man. When that vile, wicked spirit was making men want men, women want women. These are things that are being presented, showing that we're at the end of this rulership, man. This wicked rulership.
Yahweh answered and said, take heed that no man deceive you.
Take heed, meaning what? Listen. You know what I'm saying? Take in consideration. Believe what I'm saying. You got it, bro.
For many shall come in my name, saying, I am a Mashiach, shall deceive many. Ye shall hear wars, rumors of wars. Ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet.
Right. And so, you want to break that up?
Yeah, about that scripture earlier that says, now it's high time to wake out of sleep. These are signs that the Father, that Yahweh, the Son, Yahweh, one of God's signs is coming back. These are the signs like the rocking signs. Hey, wake up, wake up. Each time you see these signs, each time you see a prophecy come to pass, the shaking is getting harder. The shaking is getting harder. Or you're gonna have 2/3 of our people that shrug it off and go straight back to sleep because they don't want to get up. They don't want to get ready. You know, and when the Father come back, when the Father send Yahweh shot come, when the Father send Yahweh shot to come, everybody who's not up is gonna get low. You know?
Hey, I would say because it said, "What be ye not troubled?" And see, and the reason the Lord's elect are not going to be troubled because we have the Comforter, man. The Lord has given us the heads up of everything that's going to be going on via prophecy, man. But then you got the 2/3 who are not acknowledging or paying attention to what's going on. What do we have? Jacob's trouble coming. So Israel gonna have to go through Jacob's trouble even with the Lord's elect. But the elect is not gonna be troubled, but 2/3 are gonna be very troubled, man, because they're not paying attention and taking heed of the prophets that's being fulfilled and coming to pass, man.
This I've been talking about signs. This is Luke 21:28. And when these things begin to come to pass, everything that the brothers have been speaking about, then look up and lift up your head, for your redemption draws nigh.
Good, man. And what do we look up and see when we look into the skies, man? We seeing chariots, man. Those are the vehicles of our salvation, man. And then you got this guy, what's his name? Some dog talk about that the chariots are not trying to make no boast. Ron Dawson, man. You know, having his face so yeah, this idiot, man, who has not the spirit of Yahweh outside, trying to make mockery or try to mock regarding the chariots, man. You know what I'm saying? Trying to say they're supposed to have horses and you know, man. Hey, fuck that nigga, man. He's gonna die. You know what I'm saying? Simply put, man, because you know what I'm saying, the Lord is not to be mocked, man. You know, but at the end of the day, those chariots, man, are signs and tokens of the salvation of our deliverance, man, by way of Yahweh Shem outside for his elect.
You can't think of nothing outside about chariot or horse. The Lord don't need no horse. He made the whole earth, the elements, and everything like that. You made everything. You gotta be within your limits and your thinking, nigga. It don't work like that.
Right.
Well, was he just scoffing or he actually thinking? I think
Come on, most likely.
Yeah. He bought it, baby.
I think it's Dr. Amazon Prime.
Yeah. The Negroes, some shit. Hebrew, the Negroes,
some shit.
Yeah.
Or like you
Some
just
bugged out shit.
they set up the call. He said
Right.
he saw Jack.
Yeah.
Trying to get the trying to blame shit.
Yeah.
No, he saw the so-called white man through the earth. Okay, see, and that's gonna play a factor in the build of the prophecy, because you do have a lot of naysayers. The agents, they do push their confusion. You have people actually not believing in the chariots, but that's gonna make it so much, grandier their appearance in their chariot, because so many people don't believe.
Right.
I was gonna say, because you can tell there's a lack of spiritual intelligence, because they might not believe in the chariots, what they call UFO, right? Coming down to save us. But they believe the man they call Jesus Christ will literally come back on a horse. A horse can't breathe in space.
Yeah. Right.
So what's yeah, that's a lack of spiritual intelligence. You know, you believe he doesn't need either of them. But this is the fashion he's going to be coming back in.
It's a pastor.
Right.
Forcing to run around waiting.
Yeah.
Grazing and shit.
He gonna come back.
They try to mix that what's like that?
No.
They try to mix that North mythology into our stuff. That was said supposed to be happening during the time of
They go back to Apollo. If you look up a picture of the sun god Apollos, he's in the cloud riding with a bunch of horses. So he's behind the chariot. It's a bunch of horses. But it goes back to that sun god Apollo, because you look at all the Renaissance art of Yahweh, what do? They put that halo around it. Because really much Constantine pretty much transferred the true imagery, the true icons that he made to pagan icons, during the time of Constantine. The Council of Nicaea, You know, he merged Yahweh Shah with Apollo and Mithras, the sun god of Greek and Rome. His brother just said, I think the same thing. The spirit, every time you look at like those Greek, Greek imagery, the Greek idols and everything, all of them got like that same thing when you look at Zeus, Hercules, and all these, all of them had the same type of image.
Yeah. But see, like this Rondon guy, it's like he's trying to create a box to put Yahweh outside in, man. And when he's the one in the box, you know what I'm saying? He's confined to his own delusions, man. Or just working his to earn his check. But at the end of the day, man, he's gonna receive a heavy judgment, man. Because you know he's one of those ones who will influence the simple minded to believe the things he believes, man.
Yeah. Because there's no way you get that documentary on Amazon.
Right.
And not be, you know, and not be, what the nigga does is he gives you some of the truth to make it believable, so you can yield left and you get off the lane of the truth.
Right? Do Alex Jones.
He's controlled opposition. Yeah.
It's Ephesians 4:14. It said that we henceforth be no more children tossed to and fro and carried about with every wind of doctrine by the sleight of men and cunning craftiness.
I can say something. Jake got a term about standing on business. So we're supposed to stand on business, which is the truth. You don't supposed to go left or right every time you hear a different doctrine.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That makes you unstable. But if you stand fast in Yahweh Shah, your feet is cemented in the truth. Because your feet is cemented in this foundation, Yahweh Shah is the foundation. And you're going to stand upright. So when you hear something, you're not going to lean left or lean right. Just stand back.
Finish it off. And it says, and cunning craftiness whereby they lie and wait to deceive.
Can I say one more thing? The cunning craftiness, because they'll have certain artifacts, certain documentation of history to make it believable, but at the end of the day, it's still not the truth.
The high budget production.
The high budget production,
Right.
You know, niggas like Kyrie believe in it, and he's pushing it on you.
It does in Colossians. It's in Colossians where, you know, speaking on you know, if you're not speaking the name, come by see me outside, you change up the doctrine, it'd be a curse to you. You know what I'm saying? So these niggas really, they cause themselves to be cursed, man. Because they flipping and switching up, you know what I'm saying? Throwing up different avenues in there. They're throwing Jesus, they're throwing the Christ, they're throwing a little truth, like the elder saying. Then they'll throw in some kind of, you know what I'm saying, shift, like Japheth is pretty much Esau, you know. And they just, you know, just switching it up, man, and changing people's minds who are, you know, weak-minded and believing this shit.
Hold on real fast. In Galatians 1:8. But though we or an angel from heaven preach any other gospel unto you than that which we have preached to you, let him be accursed. So basically, if an angel even come to you, you know, trying to put some bullshit doctrine in your mind, you're supposed to rebuke that angel, man. You're supposed to curse that fucking angel out. You're supposed to make a video on angel. Right? Because at the end of the day, he's trying to get you to go off because he's left-handed. What?
This is back to the point going into the root. This Colossians 2:7. Let your root is in NLT. Let your roots grow down into him, and let your lives be built on him. Then your faith will grow strong in the truth you were taught, and you will overflow with thankfulness.
Because when you root it, if a tree is rooted into the ground, what? It's gonna grow. Well, how's it gonna grow? It's absorbing minerals. It's absorbing everything it needs to flourish, nutrients, and all those things, man. So if you're rooting this truth, you steadfast and you sticking to the doctrine, and you constantly building up with brothers, iron sharpening iron, you're gonna grow, man, because what? You're rooted in the truth. You're not going to this doctrine, you're not going to that doctrine. You're staying and preaching and teaching what you've been taught by your apostles and elder Christian brothers on down. You know?
It's verse 8. It says, don't let anyone capture you with empty philosophy, high-sounding nonsense that come from human thinking and from the spiritual powers of this world.
No respect of persons. And even Galatians 1:8 say, even if it's an angel, you're supposed to rebuke it.
Right.
Why? Because we already know what we're supposed to believe in.
It says, I'm stopping at 80. It says, don't let anyone capture you with empty philosophies and high-sounding nonsense that come from human thinking and from spiritual powers of this world.
Rather add, it said empty philosophy because trying to make the so-called white man Japheth, what does that do for us in our situation?
Right.
It puts us back. Now we gotta wait for Esau to come back to come into power, put us in slavery. You know, be woken up to the truth again. Like no, like if Esau or Japheth, everything we're doing is for naught. If the so-called white man is Japheth, everything that we're doing for naught. And it shows you can tell where the lie comes from because we benefit from it. The so-called white man benefit from not being Esau and being Japheth.
Yeah.
So that's the source of the lie. You know?
And how can one race of people be everybody?
Yeah.
This nigga is the so-called Egyptians, Israel,
Babylonians,
Babylonians,
Pharaohs.
man.
Everybody but Esau.
Everybody, man. But themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I want to say. Look, I want to do some look history study on Gad. It was a movie called I think it was Two Wolves or the Buffalo something or the Buffalo something. The wolves. It was supposed to be about Gad. You had a few Gadites in the back, but the main Gadite was a white woman. It was a white woman in the so-called white woman, even like man coming to marry this this Gadite woman.
It's Edomite supremacy, and it goes into your sub fucking countries. Everybody that's great were Edomites. Every nation that's why in your brain it's hard to fathom that Jacob ran a nation by himself, or the heathen ran by themselves, man. The Cushites, the Hamites, because Esau really sold us Edomite supremacy through the school system, man, and through Hollywood. All right, like he was going into everything is a fucking curriculum. Everything is a fucking curriculum, man. All right,
The hypnosis through repetition.
The hypnosis through repetition. Chester Ray Boisier, Christmas and Rapids, he was repetitively inculcated into our minds because we were babies.
You said subconscious. You know, I always go into that term subconscious, but this is a definition. It's a portion of the mind that operates beneath conscious awareness, influencing thoughts, feelings, and behaviors without being immediately accessible to the conscious thought.
Right, and you speak to the subconscious through what? Repetition.
Right.
And it's funny because we said that when we watched Kevin Samuel's video, it was like, man, these women be in a trance. They be regurgitating feminism, and Kevin be waking them up out of a trance.
Right.
But Christianity was a trance. Feminism was street culture because we've been inculcated these same ideologies over and over again.
I'm gonna say something about the subconscious. The subconscious is 90% of your mind. Right? Think of an iceberg. What you see is the 10%, but what's underneath is the next portion. So it's the same concept when it's applied to the mind. Your subconscious is 90% of your mind. So your thinking, your feelings come from ultimately your subconscious. But pretty soon, the more it's flooded with negative thoughts, it's going to become something conscious. That's how it works. That's the reason why he programs things. You see things in commercials. He doesn't even have to say nothing because even by saying things, it's still going into your subconscious mind.
But he has the color scheme down pat.
Yeah.
That's why the most dominant colors when it comes to advertising, like red and yellow, like McDonald's colors. You know, he has the colors down. He knows how to subconscious reacts to colors, music notes. Like I was going into MLK and Tupac, they got them same fucking notes when they speak. Oh, yeah, because it speaks to that subconscious, that soul, man. I had a dream. Hey, Hail Mary. Follow me. Same thing with preachers.
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
I want to add, his blessing is the sword, but something about a swordsman, when you, do history lessons on them, or you study them, they swordsmen, a lot of times they are well blacksmiths, they know how to construct and make a sword. So Esau has well constructed these men and these women, to be as deadly as they are.
He weaponized. Like that's the beautiful part because he weaponized the nigga woman and Jake. They're walking weapons. Like these niggas snapping in the moment. They're really maturing candidates.
Since she said that, I think she's probably gonna do a video on it. But you had this Jacob $50, and he was standing in line with a young lady in front of him. And so, you know what? I think I did a video too. About the travel now with the bold man. So this dude is in line, and the dude is a girl in front of him. So you had this car, and so she purchased something. I guess he asked her, did he, if she wants some weed. She leaves, her boyfriend gets up the car. He gets out the car and starts trying to put the gun at your door. So the boy trying to put the gun down, and he shot that nigga 7 times. 7 times.
I got your house shot right here. No emotion.
No emotions, bro.
That maturity.
Yes, sir.
Matthew 24:12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold.
And because when scriptures say, when Esau had furbished his sword, you know, of course, it's just technology, how he weaponized everything, you know, but like he weaponized people. Like he furbished a nigga. Like going back to it, Tupac was the first archetype of just a street nigga, you know, and then he has been evolving that version ever since then. And now you got the NBA Youngboy. So you look at from Tupac to NBA Youngboy, Esau was in the lab, you know, cranking this shit up.
He's the grandfather of drill.
He understands. Go ahead, bro.
Said really went too much. Paul was saying about that consistency. Because if you ever just looked at the swords and study how they fight, they don't just go for blows. A lot of them, they real patient. They cut it, they sit there, you know, they're real defensive. They really get protecting themselves. But it's the consistency because they slowly breaking their opponent down. And so when that heavy blow come in, usually one that knock them down, they might hit a certain part of the leg or something. But it goes into that consistency you was talking about. It's the same thing over and over again. They slowly wearing down. He's slowly trying to wear down the 230.
Well, I got it right here because it was a wax cold, and the definition came out through the spirit. All right, wax cold goes back to what? Sukkos, which goes back to psycho. And it says, under the biblical usage, the key word, the key definition, metaphor of waning love, man. So, hey, like the song goes, ain't no love in the heart of the city. So part of the signs of the times is people have no love, no mercy, no compassion for each other, man.
That makes you, according to that scripture, that makes you psychotic. It's not only about, seeing things that you don't see, which is a part of psychosis, hearing things that you don't hear, which is a part of psychosis, but also when you can walk this world, get out your car, and kill a man in broad daylight.
Compassion is gone.
Compassion is gone, so that makes you psychotic as well.
Yeah, so notice that just with even on social media ranks, as she's talking about feminism, things of that sort. She's mentally deranged, man. She's not talking with sense. Just how Eve going on her social media ranks.
But even with the infidelity thing, man, like American women, Western women, how they're so careless about infidelity, that's part of it a cycle too, because you have no compassion, you have no feelings, man. The nastiest stuff that women have said on social media, how they blindsided their men and what they let other men do. Even from a fidelity standpoint, you're psycho. Having multiple sexual partners.
On top of that, you're the weaker vessel. Here you are, you're trying to chance your situation on a man, knowing that he can be able to take it down whenever he can.
Jump in the man's face. You know what you're saying?
That's psycho.
Yeah, you're psycho.
This is I used to watch them old Western, they call them the Wild Wild West. Well, America whole is a wild, wild west, man. It's something that's wild, it's untamed, man. It's just uncivilized, man. These people just do as they will, man.
You're going off your primitive instinct.
Yeah.
You have no godly spirit in you, the suppressed.
Right.
All that you have is your instincts.
And that's what make you psychotic. Because remember, according to the scriptures, action is what? To love the Most High is an action.
Yeah.
But if you can manipulate a great nation like us and make us become degenerates, you are extremely powerful, man. You are very powerful, man.
You turn the nation of people into a sword.
Shit.
So it comes in many forms. Yeah.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 6, verse 12. And the Most High looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt. For all flesh had corrupted his way upon earth. And the Most High said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence. This is back in Genesis 6 And 12 it says, and the Most High looked upon the earth and beheld.
The Most High is doing the same thing now. History repeats itself. It's the same generation from before. They're back here now. Go ahead, boy.
And it says, and it was corrupted, for all flesh had corrupted his way upon earth.
Lifestyles, actions, behaviors based on the philosophies. And philosophies corrupt your mindset. And when your mindset is corrupted, it displays in your actions. Go ahead, bro.
It says, and the Most High said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them.
And it's the same thing now, and that's why we have the second coming of Yahushua. Right? So reset something. Reset what? This world, man. And this is gonna be programmed in a new world order. But guess what? Those laws, statutes, and those commandments or those policies are coming from Yahweh through Yahushua. Go ahead.
You said, philosophy. They read the Genesis, they read the garden. The apple wasn't a real apple.
Right.
It was the philosophy of
That's it. And show you how Esau knows that. Look at your iPhone. It's an apple with the bite taken out. Yeah.
And it says, and behold, I will destroy them with the earth.
Right, and I would destroy them with the earth. And these people in America are going to be destroyed, man. 2/3 of our people and these other nations, beginning with Esau. All right, they're going to literally fight the book.
If I can add, the Lord gonna combine the judgment of Sodom and Gomorrah and the flood. So he's gonna flood America with fire. That's why it's called a lake of fire.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Yeah. So you have the violent culture and the lewd culture all in one. So they're gonna get the judgment of the flood and the judgment of Sodom and Gomorrah, man.
Mm-hmm.
I got one, bro.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Oh, I know my commentary, man. He's my scribe.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I was in there too.
All right. This Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 22. Good News Translation. Result of idolatry. One thing led to another. It was not enough to be wrong about the knowledge of the Most High. They lived in a state of evil warfare, but they were so ignorant that they called it peace. They murdered children in their initiation ritual.
Hey, this is happening in America all over again. Right? This same thing is happening in America right now. Go ahead.
All right. They murdered children in their initiation rituals, celebrated secret mysteries.
Right, you got Jake doing that now. You got secret societies, and how do they get down? The boule, which are nothing but gatekeepers, right? But at the end of the day, Jake gatekeepers. Go ahead, bro.
And held wild ceremonial orgies.
Right, look at Puppy.
Come on, man.
But where did Puppy get it from?
Esau.
He got it from Esau.
Cane board.
Right, and I'm gonna tell you how wicked Esau is. Here, you can break down Puppy, right? You can show his list, but what about the Epstein list? Right? And then it's rumored that Epstein ain't even dead. I seen that nigga on the video. He was in Lebanon. And these motherfuckers going live. Who recorded him?
I ain't gonna show that because a lot of them niggas was over.
Exactly. But who though? These senators, these congressmen, the politicians. Yeah, that's right. Go ahead, my brother.
Start back to 23. They murdered children in their initiation rituals, celebrated secret mysteries, and held wild ceremonial orgies with unnatural practices. They no longer kept their lives for married spirit.
And I'm gonna tell you about this sex magic. The sex magic is a part of Satanism. But as you're having this act, you're supposed to manifest it in your mind, right? To make it come true. Go ahead, bro.
A man might kill another by an act of treachery or cause him grief by committing adultery with his wife. Everything was a complete riot of bloody murder, robbery, deceit, corruption, faithlessness.
And what about Puffy? Didn't Cassie supposed to be his wife? But look how many niggas ran through.
Right.
Girl said she had sores on her tongue. Go ahead, bro.
Corruption, faithlessness, disorder, falsehood, harassment of innocent people, ingratitude, moral decay, sexual perversion.
About to say something. That movie, Eyes Wide Shut, starring Tom Cruise. They showed you a glimpse of it. What they do in different ceremonies, man. Also, when I stayed with the one going back, I think 2013, the roommates. The one movie, it's starring Johnny Depp, Ninth Gate. I want to say it's the title. Yes, Ninth Gate. But basically, it shows like towards the end of the movie, you had different men in them black robes and whatnot. Like, so to make an Esau Edom world, like you gotta pretty much partake in this, man. You know, them different rituals, you know.
Right.
Got it.
The worship of idols whose names, I'm sorry, let me go back. Harassment of innocent people, ingratitude, moral decay, sexual perversion, broken marriages, adultery, immorality. The worship of idols whose names should never be spoken is the beginning and the end, the cause and the result of every evil. People who worship them lose control of themselves in ecstasy or pass off lies as prophecies
In the flesh.
or live wickedly or break their word without hesitation. They tell lies under oath and expect no punishment because the idols they put their trust in are lifeless.
Right. The big idol of the music industry is Baphomet.
Yeah.
Right. And that's how you have to get down. Right. A dual entity. Right. A dual entity. Right. And so according to them, Baphomet is supposed to be what? A form of balance. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, it comes, bro.
Okay.
This is Psalm 83, verses 2 through 5. It says, "Those thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head."
Esau is on top now, right? And guess what? His joint heirs are these other nations, right? Go ahead.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy enemies.
And how? Go ahead.
I would say it's one of those things like y'all elders been going into it, brother. That turmoil and that crafty counsel is their repetitive of this bullshit they put on the TVs, on the radios. You know what I'm saying? In the schools, the classrooms. You know what I'm saying? To enchant and mold the minds of the people to be completely wicked, man. To follow, to be engulfed in this westernized way of living, the doctrines, the lifestyles, man. And they use even Jake to do it, man. You know, so that's a part of that crafty council, man, which still takes place today up there in where they had that big ass island and shit.
San Francisco.
Sonoma County.
Yeah.
Sonoma County,
Yeah, California.
you know.
Listen about when they present
There you go.
yeah, present themselves to Molech.
Yeah. You know. So I mean, this is the results of a wicked rulership, man. You know, it's not gonna be righteousness in his rulership other than the Lord's people, man, his elect, and those who are believing how about me outside, man. But other than that, everybody just dives right into the ways of Esau's wicked society, man.
Verse 4, it said, "They have said, come and let us cut them off, being a nation."
And that's what it's all about. Because why? They don't want us to attain what the kingdom of heaven. Right? That's what this shit is all about, man. Right. Esau had his synthetic blessing, but guess what? He still want ours.
And
right?
If I can say, going back, we were talking about earlier, the Run Dog and his name with that shit on Netflix, Negroes, the Hebrews. You know what I'm saying? It shows you that little twist and everything he's doing on there is to dismantle Jake and put him into some kind of enchantment, because brothers do a 20-minute, 10-minute video speaking on your how about me outside shit's going on in this earth, man. And brothers, the whole channel gets shut down. Right. Get strikes, but this nigga put this bullshit on Netflix. He getting checks for it. I think it's still up.
He's bought
Prime. I mean, yeah.
You gotta cross over, man. And the other ones that will get a chance is the 2/3.
Yeah.
Go ahead, man.
He said that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
And that's what it's all about, destroying the Israelites, because at the end of the day, he think he's the beneficiary of that blessing. Go ahead, bro.
It says, "For they have consulted together with one consent that they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against me."
Right. The whole agenda is to stop the nation of Israel. Confederate, meaning what? They're joined together. They're in concert together. It is their pleasure, you know what I'm saying, to stop us.
Can I read it in NLT?
Go ahead, bro.
Back in Psalms 83 in the NLT, yes, this was their anonymous decision. They signed a treaty as allies against you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's it, man. You know, all these different nations come together, you know what I'm saying? And they come up with anything in any way to offset prophecy by trying to, you know what I'm saying, to bring these draconian laws, everything. Going back into the leasing of the police and the 1,500 FBI agents, man. All these things that has been in conspiration to come against the nation of Israel, man. They not getting these people together, man, to come at Esau or these heathens. You know, they not unleashing the police to have the absolute authority to do whatever they want to people. It's gonna be you Israelites, man. Some of the other nations might get caught up in there being collateral damage, but ultimately, this is all about the orchestration of Jacob's trouble to come down, man. As it goes into Revelation 12 and 12, how does jump to come down with that great wrath, man?
Go ahead. This book of Psalms 2 and 1 in the GMS. Why do the nations plan rebellion? Why do people make their useless plots?
And can I say something? Look for rebellion. Us attaining the kingdom of heaven. But these nations are under, they controlled by Satan, right? So the game plan is what? Stop the nation of Israel. And that's rebellion. Because the Most High's goal is what? To establish Yahushua in the earth. To establish the kingdom of heaven in the earth. To erect the physical kingdom. Go ahead, bro.
That's why I say in Isaiah 10, how they work evil, they devise iniquity upon their beds.
Yeah.
You devise something, that means you subtly doing it.
Right.
Just like really that spirit of the serpent in the garden.
Mm-hmm.
What was his attributes or characteristics? He was very artful in deception.
Crafty.
He was very crafty and cunning, man.
And the reason why, because Adam had a physical kingdom out there, man.
Right, bro.
He had a kingdom. It tells you in the book of Ezekiel how the trees was jealous of him. These nations was jealous of him.
That same spirit, that cunning spirit, is jealous of Yahushua's future kingdom.
Right.
It's gonna be planted here on the earth, man.
That's it.
So he's doing that same thing, the same text, like all over again.
And again, history repeats itself because it's the same spirits coming back around what, the third or fourth generation.
Like if I may say this, you got the movie They Clone Tyrone, and it basically shows you the artful nature of the Esau has towards the 12 tribes. Because now he has the upper hand on us. He's using all type of enchantments to keep us away from Yahweh.
That's right, boy.
So now Jake is under that trance, or was under that trance, and 2/3 it still is.
That's it. Hypnosis.
It says, why do the nations plan rebellion? Why do people make their useless plots?
Right, this new world order, y'all gonna get super close, but guess what? It'll never fucking happen. Right? Y'all going to get close, but it's not going to happen. Go ahead, bro.
Their kings revolt. Their rulers plot together against the Lord Yahweh.
You puppet governments. Esau sets up puppet governments. Right? Hey, look, the video I did about the liquor. Right? You got the name of the dude that's over the liquor coming out of Mexico. But guess what? He's down with it. Don Julio is full of fucking corn syrup. Right? But guess what? These motherfuckers, they want to fatten their pockets. They don't give a damn about you.
No integrity.
No integrity. They only care about them and their family.
But you know what, bro? That's the spirit. Because a while back you had mentioned how they put something in the liquor.
Yeah.
See, now it's like they getting more crafty. You know?
Let me tell you something else. When we went out there overseas, man, the last time we went, we was drinking 4 fifths a day. Never had a hangover. Soon as I get back, I detox. I took some time off, and my very first drink over here, my head started. But I'm drinking. I'm just saying, but you haven't. But we was drinking amongst 4 individuals. But you never had a hangover. Never got dehydrated. Now you got women over there that they can't afford liquor. They're drinking beer. Why they don't have beer bellies?
They don't have beer bellies.
Did they have beer bellies? Because you was there.
They look good. It was slim.
Yes.
Yep.
And what did Cardi B say? Cardi B said, I don't know what's going on in America. This is about 5 years ago, maybe post-COVID time. But she said, you have guys over there in the Dominican Republic, 60 and 70 years old, can outrun somebody 20 and 30 years old over here.
And then you see the Jakes from Jamaica or the West Indies, and they come to America, they ripped up.
Yeah.
50, 60 years old, ripped up, and they still eat that Jamaican food.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, man, like the McDonald's, the Coca-Cola, they've all done deals behind closed doors to take the ingredients, man.
That's right.
There's no integrity in mass production in America, man.
Hey, Longhorn, right? Longhorn, Dennis. Somebody get the eat your bread to follow amongst the Gentiles. I think it's Longhorn, Denny's, and Outback. Right? They have a contract with these farms, and per the government, that basically Longhorn cannot accept steaks unless the cows are vaccinated. They're vaccinated, and they have to be fed GMO products. But guess what? That causes what? Cancer in the long run.
But you know what? The spirit is on us. Hey, leave this shit alone.
Fuck.
I mean, if you out and about, you gotta But most of the rest, they low level, man.
Yeah.
Because the steak is supposed to be grass fed anyway.
So they say.
So they say. And if the company has grass fed, they're gonna post it, they're gonna advertise, they're gonna charge you more.
And I'm gonna say this one since you said that, hey, Whole Foods.
Yeah.
And we know we get the best out the worst. But
Yeah.
guess what? It's a mass production.
Yeah, they sold out.
They sold out.
It's a corporation.
It's a there we
Whole
go.
Foods
It's
is
a corporation.
Yeah.
So the best thing you can do is go to your local farmer's market.
Local butcher, man.
Your local butcher.
But brother mentioned also because up north they got all type of different stores. Possible Hard mentioned places like Trader Joe's. Like pretty much they're all compromised, man. So it's really why we pray.
That's right.
And we work on our vitality too.
Yeah.
We don't just eat and sit. And brothers got that. You can control. You doing walks.
Yeah.
You can control the working out and stuff. There's somewhat counter it, man.
Yeah.
Because I've learned if you don't exercise, you just eat American food. What happens? Tired all the time. You can't control this weight gain.
Right.
Chronic disease.
Yeah. And that's why the scripture says what? Exercise what? It profits little. It does nothing for the spirit. But look what it does for the body.
Yeah.
But your spirit has been exercised by the scriptures. Yeah. So now you have a unified front. You exercise and you're spiritual too. Look at these jakes that don't even believe in the truth. You got jakes out there in New York, calisthenics. Right? They're 60 years old, but they have the bodies of what? A 20 or 30-year-old.
Right.
Why? That goes to show you what the scripture says. Exercise, it profits little. It does nothing for the spirit, but it does wonders for the body.
Yeah. You're not gonna wake up to the truth because you can do pull-ups. Right. But I say this, it clears your mind so you can receive the word. Yeah, do both, man. But
like you say, like exercise, things that sort for us like sweat.
Yeah.
Removes demons out.
Yeah. You run them demons out, man.
Yes, sir.
So hey, we learn as we go, man, and we got the apostles as examples, man. Right. But hey, like I said, working out, like you said, sweating, detoxing, it raises your vibration, man.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, you can't escape the curses, man. But like y'all elders are saying, when Jake's done started trying to, eat a little better and everything, so he started going to these Trader Joe's or Whole Foods. Esau know that, so Esau the other day just collateral damage. They making sure they gonna pump that poison inside these local stores as well, man.
You think the rock stars going to the Whole Foods? Right? They have that shit probably slaughtered right there before them.
Right. We eat dog food. Yeah. They look at this like you get slapped to the swine.
Right.
You get slapped to the cattle. Yeah.
They call us Goyim.
So and all these missing humans.
Right.
I speak about plant-based a lot. I've done it a lot, and it's true. But look, GMO crop. Yeah. And a lot of farmers are forced to grow GMO crops.
Absolutely, bro.
You gotta grow GMO crops. Yeah. The fruit don't have no fucking flavor, a lot of it.
Right.
So the only answer is your Hawashite, man.
And what will make a farmer sell up? Okay, look, you got a family. Your family has to be provided. Yeah. What I'm gonna do? Yeah. So I gotta do.
Hey, or he might get off.
Or he might get off.
You might get off, man. Right. But I was going into algorithms, and I'm looking up the word algorithm. It goes into formulas that create an outcome. Mm-hmm. Like when you do mathematics, you use a formula to get the answer. Mm-hmm. A plus B carry to 6. Yeah. It's like a formula. Equation. Right. So with algorithms, what this man does, like the processed food to graveyard pipeline, it's like an algorithm. Like we're gonna start with the processed food. All right, it's gonna lead you to get sick. It's gonna make you dependent on a big, you know what? Yeah, big P for about 20 years. So through your insurance and your Medicare, you're gonna be paying us about 20 years, and you're gonna drop dead. So that's like based on how I proceed the definition, that's like an algorithm of death. Esau, because he's a cunning hunter. Right. So a cunning hunter, man, you created an equation that engenders a desired outcome, man.
And when you look at that Hebrew for cunning hunter, again, it goes into one that captures soul.
Come on, man.
You can't make it up.
I look at the name. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 4. Get to the point of verse 12. And thou shalt eat it as barley cake. All right. This is Ezekiel chapter 4, verse 13. And the Lord Yahweh said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles.
This prophecy is happening in real time, right now, and for years, right? Back in the 70s, in the 80s, obesity was not a factor, right? You could count the obese people in your school, and you probably wouldn't get over 5 to 10 people. When we were coming up, people were exercising, right? We was chasing girls, we were playing football, we were playing basketball. We didn't have these phones, none of that shit, right? We were active. We were mobile. Man, go into like these nostalgia videos back in the 80s and the 90s. When you see people at the malls and things of that nature, it was just so fucking vibrant, man.
And Jake had like a 29-inch waist.
Yeah.
Jake had a 30-inch waist, man. And like you said, it was life, man.
It was life, bro.
Hey, we're little existence has shifted.
Man,
it's different now.
This shit sucks.
There's no flavor in this motherfucker.
No,
Now the valley of the shadow of death is like manifesting. Everything just like a dead state.
And queer and people who are like weird, they were a minority. Now people who are weird, they're the majority.
Yeah.
They got that emo movement, gothic movement. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Even the YNs, that's a majority. Once upon a time, the thug was the outcast in the neighborhood.
right.
Just like Keisha, she was a majority.
Yeah.
You know, you got like so-called decent women amongst our nation, but Keisha's at the forefront.
The archetype of Keisha, man.
Where did that architect come from? Architect come from poetic justice. I never seen a movie where women was talking to niggas like that. I was like, God,
Yeah, what she say? That's wrong. Fucking somebody else.
yeah.
You know, even drugs, it's a shameful thing, man. Even like weed back then, like, no,
Right.
man. You know, they do they Nancy Reagan shit, just say no.
Yeah.
But now, you know, shit, they do more drugs, I think, by the way of music to get into people's heads than the dope boy do on the corner, man.
Even just like in high school days, like females like you say like going down on you, stuff like that. They was shameful of that.
Never heard you.
And nowadays, these females call themselves throat goats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Shame.
And shameless acts.
Yeah. Eating groceries. That shit came from Kevin Gates.
But why is our nation targeted for
Right.
that mindset?
The forefront of
At
it.
the
Right.
forefront of it, man.
And you know what, man? Scratch that. Jeremiah 2:33, bro. Hey, get Ezekiel 37 and read in the NLT. I'm gonna pass it on. And this is how cold Esau has became, man. He has turned a great nation, such as the nation of Israel, into fucking degenerates, man. But guess what? The Mosai is only dealing with what? Hey, the God of Israel, or the Israel of the Mosai, the Israel of the Mosai, which is the elect, right? And they can be targeted. They can still have their bullseye on them. But guess what? You would never shoot at them. You would never hit them because of the spirit. Right? Go ahead, bro.
This is Jeremiah chapter 2, starting at verse 32. Can a maid forget her ornaments, or a bride her attire? Yet my people have forgotten me days without number.
Now we're likened to a woman, right? Now if your husband gives you something, you're supposed to reverence your husband as being the man, the provider, all right, and all the things he has brought to you. And cherish. But guess what? We wax back. Right? And we did what? We forsaken our rock. And therefore our rock had to forsake us. Right? Go ahead, bro.
Verse 33. Why trimmest thou waist to seek love?
Hey, why trim your way to seek love? You sellouts, you puppies, you Jay-Z's, JD's, Oprah Winfrey's, right? You LeBron James. When you go into that term, trim in the Hebrew, I forgot it. I forgot what it is. But it goes into people doing to become happy, to become married, to benefit, and so on and so forth. So trim is your ways is a form of what selling out, right? These niggas sell out. You gotta know.
Trim in the Hebrew, yatar.
Yeah, there you go. Your top. That's right. Now read the box, like read the Strong's definitions.
Okay. Strong's is well, good,
Right. So they do it to be well, to be good, go ahead,
pleased,
to be pleased,
married,
to be happy,
amend,
to be a man. A man means to reconcile, to fix. Go ahead.
better,
To fix what? To amend our situations. Go ahead.
better,
To be better, what? Meaning in his lifestyle.
accepted,
To be accepted by who he saw.
diligent.
To be no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Diligent to be wicked. But that goes into what Mark the 8th chapter, what, 31st, what profit man to gain the whole world to lose the soul, and what he give in return.
That's right.
You know?
That's right. A sore ass.
Yeah, yeah.
And a defeated conscience. Go ahead.
All right. Back in the scripture. Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 33. Why trimmest thy way to seek love? Therefore hast thou also taught the
You
wicked one.
niggas do all them, you sell out, but guess what? You still can't outperform the curses. You do all that selling out, but guess what? You still cannot outrun the curses. Chris Brown is in London and had to pay a $5 million bond, right? A $5 million bond on the next, I think it was about an outstanding rent. But wait a minute, you supposed to be rich now.
Right, right.
Well, guess what? Them curses still attacking you. So like mom used to tell us, bro, back in the day, it just pays to do fucking right. Go ahead, bro.
Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy way.
Right, Jake has become so wicked, they can teach Esau a thing or two. Perfect.
Yeah.
Take that, take that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Verse 34. Also in thy skirt is found the blood of the souls of the poor innocent. I have not found it by secret search, but yeah.
Go ahead.
It's Proverbs 12:26. Righteous is more excellent than his neighbor. Righteous represents, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, 12 tribes.
So you neighbors are these other nations. And what makes us righteous? We receive the law, statutes, and commandments. Right? That's how we were beautified.
We say we gave us that. It was like the beauty, like the standard of the earth.
That's it.
It was like representatives of the Heavenly Father on earth, earthly born.
That's it.
So the righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduces them.
Right, the way of the wicked going into what? This lifestyle. But to be Americanized, Westernized, right? Christianity, to have hope in this American dream, so on and so forth. Go ahead.
Anything Esau pushes out, he promotes, it's going to lead you to a dead end at the end of the day.
And that's why the scripture states what? Envy not you, your oppressor. Right?
Choose none of his ways.
Choose none of his ways, because his ways, you have to do what? You have to pick something out in Satanism that you have to do in order to get a house, in order to get a car. All right, in order to have a platform, you all got to sell out. Whether you're a basketball nigga, a streamer, a YouTuber, a rapper, a politician, right? Esau is called the God of this world.
And all of them are a means to an end when it comes to Esau. They use you to, you know what I'm saying, enchant and throw off Israel, get them to perform or be wicked. You know, and once they use you up, you become Puffy, you become Bill Cosby, you become R. Kelly, Michael Jackson, Prince, so on and so forth, man. They use you for what they need you for, and then you're done.
It's like you're a throwaway weapon.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, that's what he's doing to Eve right now, currently. It's like when you're going so hard, she's feeling sad, what she's going through. Not checking it out nowadays because she's been weaponized. So now what Esau is doing, utilize her and incentivize her over these decades. So she didn't fulfill his purpose. She done did the ruin for our nation. So now that's why she's at the forefront trying to be able to apologize why so-called black men are approaching them anymore. That's why she made that covenant with them.
Hey, and why do you how about you outside, man? Jake is keeping it like Eve, man.
You know what I'm saying? It's beautiful because you see Eve, she's following right along with her serpent, the devil. Right along, it's like they going down at the same time.
Why in the garden they went down together? They got judged together.
Hey,
right? And a lot of you fucking Evites, y'all gonna die. Y'all gonna die. And again, hey, history repeats itself. Elder Josiah, when our nation started, we had what? Women of what? These other nations. We don't need y'all. Those are facts. Now, and I'm not talking about the women that are so-called, in this space. I'm talking about these hoes, man.
Hey, going back to Esau with Eve. That's like JD and Will. What they say? We ride together, we die together.
Goddamn right, he died together.
Yeah, y'all gonna die together, man.
And we say that covenant with them should be disannulled. That's right. That covenant goes to like that pact, like a solemn agreement. So what it's done right now, when something disannulled, it's boarded out. It's like a contract. It's being counseled, man.
Because you're losing. No, you gotta do. You're losing your enchantment. Even Jake, when you put your little. when Eve put her little seducing videos on social media, regular Jake is like, this ain't number prostitution. Regular Jake saying that.
Yeah, they can't do a video without showing they wreck.
And Jake on social media, like, you know, if Eve says something negative about us, Jake could be on the comment boards. Who listens to black women anyway?
Right.
You see more about the comments? Yeah, they're like, who listens to BWs anyway?
It's a different spirit out here, y'all.
That shit don't hold no weight, man. All that twerking, you know what I'm saying? Your breast out and ass clapping. That shit is like, bro, ain't nothing new.
Oh,
Jake,
back in the my bad, boy. Go ahead.
Jake is getting on senior retention.
Yeah.
Jake is practicing celibacy, man. Jake is like renewing his spirit, man. And these men in their 20s.
Practicing this.
So if a man is practicing discipline, you lost your enchantment.
Bro, we were in school, bro. You couldn't wait to get your girl at the crib. Because it was the imagination of what was going to go down and how she really looked.
Yep.
You didn't have that provocative attire back in the day. But now you see everything at the mall. You see everything in the club. You see everything hell at work.
Where's the mystery?
Where's the mystery?
Because if you ever been to a strip club, right, you don't get excited when they butt naked.
No.
It's like if they naked, it's like, oh, it is what it is. It's when they got the clothes on, it creates the mystery.
Man.
You know? And I just speak as for myself. But if they already walking around naked, it doesn't have that same power.
I don't.
You know?
I used to be on the waitresses.
Yeah,
they do. They was slightly covered up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's a heathen culture to be fucking naked and half naked, man.
Hey, man, get this degenerate. I'm going to pass on to the one.
Let's go, bro. Break the scripture up first.
Yeah.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 2, verse 21. Yet I have planted thee a noble vine,
I'm
holy.
planting you a noble vine.
Sarah.
Noble means what? High born.
Deborah.
Talked about who? The 12 tribes. What you were saying as a point?
As you were speaking, I was just elaborating.
My
Sarah,
God,
Deborah,
yeah.
Susanna,
That's right.
the mother of the 7 sons.
Mary.
Man. Come on, man.
Right? Elizabeth.
Yep.
Susanna.
A lot of y'all fucking hyenas, man.
That's right.
What am I saying? They don't know what they think modesty is dressing like the Handmaid's Tale.
Mm-hmm.
The moment you make an effort to get your woman to put the rest of her clothes on, she just think you telling me like I'm on a Handmaid's Tale.
But I'm say this point, really, that's more in order. Because and it'll be women, it could be our mothers. I'm gonna say this, like our mothers, they out of order, man.
Yeah.
If they making fun of women, that's damn East India, and they all covered up and their face even covered up. That's really how the women of the tribe supposed to be, man.
And so if you're making fun at these women of the other nations, guess what? You are a degenerate. You are a degenerate.
Because Ishmael, Elam, they got their women more in order than we do.
That's right.
Hey, even what's her name? Alicia Rashad. She was trying on. She was on the Breakfast Club trying to speak on how women should carry themselves, conduct themselves. Oh man, they put her head on the fucking chopping block, man. He was pissed off about that. Old woman, this, that, and the third. They threw, man.
That's like that same spirit that was coming at her, like your lady, Sharakuzai.
Dr. Sharazad.
Yeah, it was coming at her. Let me get on the E. Beehive will come right along.
And these Ebites, they young niggas too. They YNs too.
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
Back in Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 21. Yet I have planted thee a noble vine.
And how did the Most High plant us a noble vine? By giving us the laws, statutes, and the commandments. Go ahead, bro.
Holy and right seed.
Holy, right? Meaning, hey, the entire nation of Israel is righteous, right? And that's going to manifest in the kingdom of heaven. But this time, friend, it's only about the elect, right? But his holy. Go ahead.
How then
That
art
goes
thou?
to show you that Yahushua died for all Israel, starting with the elect.
Yeah, because hey, believe it or not, bro, it's, we just know the awakening right now is for the elect of the 12 tribes. But just imagine, at one point in time, every Jacob you see walking around, they all knew.
That's right, bro.
The time of King David, the time of King Solomon.
That's right. Holy.
Man.
Well, I mean, holy. Go ahead.
How then art thou turned into a degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me?
How have you become a degenerate? How did we become degenerates? Spiritual fornications. Using their philosophies, assimilating into those philosophies, and guess what? Those philosophies made us disregard the law, statutes, and commandments. And guess what? We start believing in their way. And it showed in what? Our actions. Get degenerate, bro.
And it pleased the flesh. It felt good to the flesh, man. Even your flesh gets aroused or it gets enchanted by dark rituals of
Yeah.
other heathens.
Yeah.
You know, it affected Israel. You know,
Yeah, and down back because Jay had got up into that wickedness, like I get into. You know, they envied the other nations, and also Jake sees that wickedness works.
Yeah.
You know, for dealing with righteousness, it takes patience.
That's right, bro.
You know, it takes time, but you know, you work from the guys of the other nations, it's more of a instant gratification thing, man.
The musician, the Clarksdale, that overnight success.
also in the sentence.
Yeah, well, yeah, but that happened in real life. That happened somewhere in Clarksdale, and it's a fucking four-way,
MS 22, something like that.
something like
Yeah, I
that.
know what you're talking about.
He sold his fucking soul. And to validate it, go back to T.I.'s video, the old meat dead and gone.
Oh, yeah.
Guess what? They simulate that same area over there in the Delta. The fucking horn just ring. They simulated that same area in the Delta. You had what? You had that piano. It caught on fire. That means what? They was giving their power for Satan, man.
Because they said when he came back, he played like never before.
He never knew how to play to that shit before he went over there, bro. Yes.
Hey, because their left hand like the microwave effect.
But that's like the point was saying, it's overnight success. Go ahead, bro.
This is our degenerate in the etymology online, having lost or suffered impairment to the qualities proper of the race or kind,
The quality goes back to what? The law, statutes, and commandments, man. Go ahead.
to be inferior to one's ancestors,
To be inferior to our ancestors. Lil Wayne is inferior to King David, right? Mike Tyson is inferior to King Solomon, right? Barack Obama is inferior. No, Selective. What's the fuck? He's an Amite, right? But anyway, Oprah Winfrey is inferior to Mary, right? Go ahead, bro.
That's a demon.
to become unlike one's race or
To
kind,
become unlike one's race or kind. Hence, degenerates, right? Now, to prove that, go ahead.
fall from ancestral quality.
So fall from ancestral quality. Now, with that being said, go to 1 Kings 11:3. You get Exodus 19:6. Okay, go ahead.
First
bro.
Kings 11:3, and he had 700 wives,
Who? King Solomon. Wives, meaning what? Go ahead, it's gonna break it down.
princesses,
Princesses. So our women are classified as princesses, right? Go ahead.
not queens,
Not queens. Queens means whore. Go ahead.
and 300 concubines.
300 concubines means what? Lesser wives. Now, I want to focus on what? Princesses. When you go into that term in the Hebrew, it goes into noble, a noble woman, right? Which means what? Highborn, right? Now, get what you got. So this shows you the quality of how our women supposed to be. They're supposed to be princesses, right? And not hoes, not queens, not baby mamas.
The value is within the virginity and also the femininity.
That's right, bro.
You know,
That's right. You had such a
Yeah,
point.
two quick ones. It's going to back with degenerate. Kind of word deep, goes like step down, and like generate goes to like birth. So like we birthed into these other nations with their false idols, philosophies, and ideologies. So this going to back that fall from our ancestral quality. Lamentations 4:1. How it's the goal become them.
Israelites. And we became them by assimilating to the ways of these other nations, right? We got that dross, right? We lost our shine. We lost our glow. We lost our value.
That's it. And the word is luster. Them goes to like luster. We lost that glow. That's absent of the Holy Spirit.
That's right, bro.
It says, how is the most fine gold changed? The stones of the sanctuary are poured out in the top of every street.
Right. Look at our people, right? Are not they at the top of every street?
It says like a wild bull.
Right.
Calming the next.
Right.
Right.
And what makes them wild? Under that feminine behavior, that feminine mindset. And that goes to show you that those Italians are jakes too, because when you go on Goodfellas, they out there on the streets chilling on the stoops, man.
Bronx tail.
Bronx Tale, shit, Nino Brown, what was that? Oh shit, Nino, New Jack City.
If I may add, they don't have the spirit and energy of Yahweh Bashem outside. They don't have the laws.
Right.
So all you have is your animal instincts.
That's it, bro.
You're uncivilized.
What did King David say in Psalm 73, 73rd chapter? Before I came to you, I was a beast before you.
And that's why the parable goes to the Romans about those wild olives. That's some of our people, man. That's Jake. You know, Jake got all these ticks on their face and body and stuff like that.
Yeah, worse.
All these weird colored hairdos and styles, wigs.
Apostle Paul covered that also in Romans the 11th chapter. You know what I'm saying? Wild olives. Yeah.
Wild
Because
olives.
most people say wild grapes in Isaiah. But that's Jake, man.
That's
You know,
Jake,
because
Jake.
Jake is wild. You know?
And you think about, like, look how Jake incorporate the word savage now. You know, they call themselves savages. I'm a beast, I'm an animal.
Yeah.
They do something so-called good. You know, they refer to these low-quality words, man.
Hey, just to back off, get that point.
Ezekiel NLT 37. Yahweh took hold of me, and I was carried away by the spirit of Yahweh to a valley filled with bones.
So Ezekiel saw what? America, right? He saw America, and America is symbolic for what? This valley full of bones. The bones are the Israelites, right? Lacking the Holy Spirit. And we all were dry bones prior to being initiated in this truth. Go ahead, bro.
He led me all around among the bones that covered the valley floor.
Meaning what? He saw different parts of America, man. He saw different parts of America. Go ahead.
They were scattered everywhere across the ground and were completely dried out.
They were scattered everywhere across the ground throughout America, right? He seen the Lil Waynes. He saw the Cardi B's. He saw the degenerates, right? He saw the Evites, right? He saw probably settings where a woman was disrespecting her man all up in his face and shit. He saw niggas running up on their fellow brother and gunning them down in the streets. He saw all this shit. Go ahead.
When those ancient prophets was like that, they had those trances. Like, they was overwhelmed by it. They got sick.
They got sick.
Rightfully so, man. You see how people in this dead state right now? They don't make anyone sick years ago that you saw them, you know what I'm saying, more type of harmonious spirit. You know?
And you can tell it was a terrible vision because you have a good vision, you ain't gonna be sick. That's a great point.
And on top of that, those prophets, man, they was more stronger.
That's right.
You know, they can handle a lot more type of pressure than we can this day and time.
Well, prove your point in the book of Daniel. It tells you how the principal, who's that prince of Zion? How Michael and Yahushua had to work on his mind. It took them, I forgot how many days it was, but that's actual fact. Go ahead, bro.
Ezekiel 37, verse 3.
And it had been like the last king of the first and the beats.
Right. That's right, bro. That's right.
Because the Greeks would come in after that.
Go ahead, bro.
Ezekiel 37, verse 3, NLT. Then he asked me, son of man, can these bones become living people again?
So he's asking him a question. Can they become Israelites again? Right? Is there any hope? What do you think? Go ahead, bro.
O sovereign Lord. I replied, you alone know the answer to that.
Hey, so Ezekiel looking at that trans, and he like, shit. Oh no, man. Oh shit. These niggas fucked up down there.
Keisha and Nate, you know what I'm saying? They sizzle fighting and doing lines of coke. You got young Jake walking around in 100-degree weather with a hoodie on or a cool shiesty mask on, you know, looking crazy.
Tattoo her face.
Like, what the hell is going on? What is this? Taking graduation pictures with a cool shiesty.
Man, bro,
that's
that graduation shit's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
You see that shit, man?
How they do?
How they do? I'm gonna stack some money, crazy cars.
Jake out there in Houston, man, had 100K at the prom, man.
All her dresses made out of
No,
Oh, that
Jake,
one too.
he counted 100K out there at his prom.
yeah.
You know,
Graduation. You think they threw on like Cheddar Club up or something, man? They just started going crazy, throwing money in the air, twerking, sliding on the ground. I'm like, man, what is this?
It's just based on degeneracy. Like, even like at Jake's funerals, you see how they dress now? Like,
Yeah.
like the younger Jake.
Yes, sir.
You know, I know back in the day, we was coming up, like, you see, like, we had at least proper attire.
You wore white and black.
Yeah.
You had black socks on. You had a white button-up shirt, and that shit was tucked
And
in.
these
Yo.
niggas be dressed like they going to the club. and shit.
That's it, bro.
Okay, Ezekiel 37, verse 4, NLT.
I think that's it, bro. That's it. Yeah. Finish that. I'm gonna pass it on.
Right, it's back in Limitations 4, verse 2. The precious sons of Zion, comparable to fine gold.
Right, we're comparable to fine gold, and we're precious. Right, we have the Most High's DNA, man. We have Yahushua's DNA from a spiritual standpoint. Right, and if Yahushua was on earth, he would be what? A Judite, a so-called Negro. If the Most High was on earth, he would be a Judite, a so-called Negro. Right. So, man, bro, it's a blessing to be who we are. And it's a greater blessing than to be a man. Go ahead, bro.
It says comparable to fine gold. I think gold, this Hebrew word goes into pies. You know, then it goes into like refined gold. So you think about quality men, about a nation like from King David, King Solomon, Gideon, Samuel, Zerubbabel, you know, the Maccabean brothers.
Yeah.
Now you compare those quality men or high quality men or high value men onto the young thugs,
Jay-Z,
Jay-Z,
the
Lil
Puffy,
Wayne, you know.
the Tyler Perry.
So you see the difference between the two, man.
And think about how close the prophet Samuel was to the Most High.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, let's go to the local seer. Let's go to Samuel.
That's right.
Like, you just went to Samuel, man.
Hey, Pyramid too.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, because he can't walk in their way. Like, I'm coming with peace.
Look how the prophets get treated now. You know, prophet. Some crazy niggas out there with Bibles and garments on, or tresses, though they call it.
That's right.
You know, but they got to give account for all that.
Hey, so she said they get that Exodus 19 and 6. It's going to segue into what you said, bro.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 19, verse 6. And ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests
Great gold, fine gold. Go ahead.
and an holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel.
Right. We were created to be kingly priests. We weren't created to be basketball players, football players,
Right.
right? Doctors and shit, according to the standard of Esau, or fucking entertainers or slaves, right? We were created to be kingly priests, man, a holy nation, man.
Kings and priests.
Kings and priests.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 10, verse 7. I have seen servants upon horses
Right.
and princes walking as servants upon the earth.
So it is an actual statue. You had Esau on a horse, right? And then you had Judah on one side of the horse, and you had Gad on the opposite side of the horse. Those are the servants, right?
I want to say
like
it's Theodore Roosevelt.
it was Theodore Roosevelt. And guess what? Gad had his gun pointed up, and Judah had his gun pointed down, meaning what? He was conquered. Gad still had some fight in him. You know, so again, Gad had his gun up, Judah had his gun down. He was beaten down.
Man, with the Most High, man. Hey, man, and that's why the Most High be fucking with your chariots,
Hey,
man.
come on in, man.
You know, that's why how about small sight, man? You had an orb, man. Hey, I believe it was real. You know, a brother sent to me on TikTok. It's this heavy fighter plane, right? And a white orb was in the sky, and an orb just abducted the whole plane. It just absorbed the plane and just disappeared with the plane. You know? So, hey, look, hey, man, you got something coming, man. As a nation. That's why all we do is teach. Because, look, hey, 2nd Ezra 13, you finna get it as a nation. All right, you got it.
Want to continue on that?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Start back at verse 7. Back in Ecclesiastes chapter 10, starting at verse 7, I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth. He that diggeth the pit shall fall into it, and whoso breaketh and hedge, a serpent shall bite him.
And you could get First Maccabees 1 and 13 and 14 as a precept, because Captain the Bible made a beautiful point. We're not made to be no basketball players, entertainers for this damn devil, man. But history repeats itself. When you get conquered, you conquer people's shit. And just how Greece was lit, and Jake was infected. Greece made you ashamed of your Hebrew culture. And they rocking fitted caps. I mean, of course, it wasn't a fitted cap, but they rocking caps. Man, they walk around with their shirt off, showing their abs and shit. They naked back in that day. Showing off their abs. That's how a nigga get. Them little shorts niggas were getting higher and higher. Jake want to show off their quadriceps and shit. All right, so we not back in Greece. Jacob here having sex in the open.
Right.
Eve out here, any type of freaky event, niggas and Eve is 10 toes down. Everybody coming out. Anywhere we could drink and eat and have sex at the end of the day, Jake is 10 toes down, man.
Yeah, the average Israelite, they're into threesomes and stuff.
It's the woman that bring it your way. It's the woman that introduced that to you.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? But ask them about polygamy.
Right. That's boring.
She like, nah, that's not my thing. Nah, that's not, Now I was like, I just hope a brick wall is appear out of nowhere, man. Hey, we gotta go.
What's it like?
Oh, First Maccabees 1:13-14.
Hey, this is Psalms 133, verse 2. It is like a precious ointment on the head that ran down on the beard, even Aaron's beard.
Oh, going back to that beard. Beard was a part of our culture. All right, go ahead.
That went down to the skirts of his garments.
Oh, because what we have, we had garments
Garments on,
down to the feet.
That's right.
And part of Hebrew culture was we were fully covered. Because you know what I found out? The word pants go back to pantaloons, which goes back to which we get the word panties from. So really, pants is an undergarment. So really, remotely, how we're dressed on the highways and the byways with a garment covering our pants. All right, that's how you really supposed to dress in your everyday life. That's why in Europe they call pants trousers, because really pants are really is an undergarment, man. So even as men, we not even fully covered, man. Now we in the West, so certain things you just can't really, it wouldn't be possible to walk around with a garment every day.
Got you. Got it. This is Leviticus 6:10. And a priest shall put on his linen garment and his linen breeches.
Yep.
Shall he put on his flesh?
Yep, because what happens? The breeches go up under the garment.
That's right.
All right. So really, the pants is really underwear.
That's right.
All right, but it was a culture that started in Europe where they started walking around with pants without the overgarment. You're supposed to have an overgarment on top of your undergarment.
Like Ishmael and the prince, that's how they still
They
dress.
still dress like that, man. Even when it's hot, they wear white. You got white. I don't know what you call it, a shemagh or something. You know what I mean?
But yeah, Ishmael, Elam, Jacob, West Africa, they all got the type of garments.
It's Akbata. And we had something similar to Akbatas, but we had printers on them, man. So even that's why they got some kind of ride print, man. You gotta be careful with some of the clothes you wear. Because workout pants or jogging pants, because in this Grecian culture, that's like a thing. Because women look, but you as a man, you might not think like that. But you gotta be careful. But that's why we had overgarments, man. Showing your nakedness, man. Go ahead.
It's the book of First Maccabees and the Apocrypha, chapter 1, starting at verse 13. Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinance of the heathen.
And who's the heathen? Christians, Edomites.
The license of permission.
Permission.
Don't you get a license to drive?
And a lot of you niggas, y'all got that Christian energy. It's supposed to be a truth with Israelites, but when you teach it, rocking the heads. All right, you got these parties. Y'all can't have an Israelite, a solemn assembly without throwing that westernized Christian energy in it, that Hellenized energy, man. So who cares if they think you boring? Let them go that way. If they think, no, this is too boring for Jake, man, fuck them. But you're not gonna say that because you want their money. All right, go ahead. Start from the top again.
This is the first Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 13, in the Apocrypha. Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinance of the heathen.
Go ahead.
And I said that license goes into a permit, but the same thing is just a slip of permission. Verse 14, whereupon they built a place to exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen.
Read the last part again.
Verse 14, whereupon they built a place to exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen.
They built the Planet Fitness out there. A Crunch Fitness out there, but that was quite naked, man. And that's how I know it's the place of Greece. And now the women are working out, right? And now the women are practically naked.
They're showing everything.
Bro, you on a treadmill, like, bro, this is too much.
What's that one exercise with woman, like she doing something like she on the ground,
Yeah.
but like she got the bar over her waist, but she's like pushing it up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
But people are coming in there, especially the women. They're coming to the gym for pure attention.
Yeah.
Because they weren't, because if pants are undergarments for men, how much more for a woman? And a woman really ain't supposed to be in the gym.
Hey, but you know what? And you got this one who work out there, right? She has to be Israelite, but she's on the treadmill only on her dress on.
You know, it's a woman that works at Planet Fitness. She always has a dress on top of the pants, man.
Wow.
But leggings and yoga pants, those are undergarments. That's like you're fucking naked. But on top of that, they wear loud, flamboyant colors. Yeah, Eve with a cleavage out. But it's all an extension of the Grecian Empire.
And then when I ask you what you looking at,
Yeah, that's the crazy part.
that shit crazy.
More attention. That's all it
They
is.
say attention is a woman's currency, man.
But you know, you win the battle, you lose in the war.
Right?
Your morale, yeah, your morale as a race, as a gender, is plummeting. You don't have that 2003 power no more.
And I see why scriptures go to Isaiah 32 about trimming you women that are in ease. You got just regular men that's not governing the Holy Spirit of Yahweh Bashim Shah. They see through the matrix now. And they're not going to be governed by no righteous spirit. They come down here and the society collapses. So you got people like that, like, man, like I'm making enemies with a lot of group of people, man.
Yeah, and there's a lot of Jake down here. They've been taking Eve out lately. Like a lot of Jake here, like locally, been killing Eve, man.
But you know what? The Most High, well, I think 73% of the violence done to Eve is by a dude she know. But who does she have in her life? What type of dude does she have in her life?
Them Jakes, them Evites that be getting off is by their husbands.
Yep.
Boyfriends and boyfriends. I'm gonna tell you another point. How you know Eve is fruit? R&B is deep. You don't hear no niggas bragging about it.
Man,
You heard about the R&B song with niggas begging Eve.
Yeah, not lately.
Because even in the R&B, like Chris Brown is,
He's pop.
yeah. You're right.
He's really
You're
pop.
right. But even like these niggas are singing, they just saying, I'm just fucking these hoes.
Bro, there's no Jodeci.
You know what I'm saying?
No Keith Sweat. No R. Kelly's. No Buntes.
Niggas ain't begging to eat no more.
Like
Been dope.
R&B is really merging into like the Afro-centric type music.
Yeah, Afro beats.
Yeah, neo soul.
Neo soul.
You know, like Jake and all that begging and shit like they did back in the 90s.
And even a singing nigga, like I said, you listen to that nigga, he just on some rough shit.
Yeah.
Just fucking his hoe in a restaurant.
Yeah.
Even blues, man. Blues are not like that with women no more. They getting grinding, man.
Yep.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Come over and drop the draw type shit.
Yeah, like I got 3 bitches.
Yeah.
Yeah,
One
yeah,
of them
why
singers, yeah.
Why have one woman you gotta have three?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jake ain't just pee bagging no more, man.
Blues are it's over.
Yeah. Hey, Slim Thug, he said something to the effect of, I'm only fucking foreign women because these hoes over here are bad. Like, do like bad in a bad way.
Tell us what you told me about the Jason Command.
Yeah, Lil Wayne might upload that video. They were showing like Jake out there in Cartagena, Colombia. That's where a lot of Jake going to, passport bros. So there was an immigration line, plus American Jakes in the immigration line. So they were just asking like what they're doing over there. And Jay said they found their purpose, man. You know, they done with American black women.
Yeah. But you know what? Cartagena, Colombia, it has a lot of Asherites that look like Southern Kingdom. Now, some of them may be of the Southern Kingdom, but like you look at Cartagena, like the makeup, it's yeah. I mean, they done with American Eve, man.
Hey, you know what? Jake moving physically, but we moving spiritually. Hey, we should have get the kingdom.
That's right.
Hey, we finna get the kingdom, man, and we ain't gotta hit no passport. Yeah, hey, you can't help it, man.
Yeah, how about you? I'm sure gonna bring it to you.
That's right.
But hey, the 12 tribes over here now.
That's right.
Hey, we got it, bro. Let's go, bro.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 3, starting at verse 24. And it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink, and instead of a girdle, a rent.
Let's start right there. You're supposed to smell a woman from a mile away.
That's right.
Because first of all, women they bask in different odors. I was reading about one of the queens in England. They took baths with flower petals in the water. And even going back to our homeland and going back to Esther, the women had to bathe 1 year in oils. 6 months of this type of oil, 6 months of that type of oil, man.
Everything sweet.
So don't you understand? Like a woman was like an extended fruit.
Right.
This is how a man loves fruit. All right, a woman is like her breast, her backside, her skin complexion, her long hair. So it's supposed to come with an odor, a good odor. Yep.
And this is Esther 2:12. Now, when every day's term was come to go into King Ahasuerus, Ahasuerus, let me read that again. Esther 2:12. Now, when every maid's turn was come to go into King Ahasuerus, after that she had been 12 months according to the manner of the women. For so were the days of their purifications accomplished, to wit, 6 months with oil of myrrh, and 6 months with sweet odors, and with other things for the purifying of the women.
So now it said, and read that part again, that curse.
Back in Isaiah chapter 3, verse 24. And it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink.
And brothers have witnessed that firsthand. You know, some brothers do ride share. Some brothers are Uber drivers, Lyft drivers.
Some brothers be at work.
Some brothers be at work.
Go to the bathroom out that shit.
Yeah. And Eve, man, she'll get in your vicinity, man. And I literally smelled Eve, and she'll smell worse than Jake.
You tell me what you're gonna do with it now.
Yeah, Eve open up her legs.
Yeah.
You know?
Man, I think pH way up.
Yeah, but you know what? Eve thinks it's a luxury to eat lobster. And
Yeah.
crab, yeah.
Like you went from that ancient habit or custom, like soaking in those oils. Now you taking like 5-minute quick showers and stuff like that. Or you eating these abominable foods and all that stuff. It comes out of your aura, man.
And think about that. These were women for a heathen king. So imagine how our women got done.
We say Deuteronomy how they feet one touch the
That's right.
ground. Stuff like that.
And did we not have laws to tell if a woman was a whore?
That's right.
Because if a man suspected this woman to be a whore, they had a people say ritual, a concoction that exposed cellulite. And the cellulite was a sign that she was basically backdooring. But now the average Eve woman has cellulite, man. You know?
Got you, bro. This is Numbers chapter 5 and verse 16. And a priest shall bring her near. You know what? Let me start at 14, bro. And let me start at, Numbers 5 and 12. Speaking to the sons of Israel and saying to them, if any man's wife go aside and commit a trespass against him, and a man lie with her carnally, and it be hid from the eyes of her husband, and be kept closed, and she be defiled, and there be no witness against her, neither she be taken with the matter. And the spirit of jealousy come on him.
The spider system.
So a woman has what? Intuition. And a man has what? Spirit of jealousy.
Proverbs 6:34. But jealousy is the rage of man, therefore he will not spare their vengeance.
That's why when you have these marriages, when a man catches woman, he'll offer them, they call it what, a crime of passion. You know,
He was in a trance.
yeah.
It's the crime. Number 5:14, back in Numbers 5:14. The spirit of jealousy come on him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be defiled. Or if the spirit of jealousy come on him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be not defiled, then shall the man bring his wife unto the priest, for he shall bring her offering for her, the 10th part of an ephah of barley meal. He shall pour no oil on it, nor put frankincense thereon, for it is an offering of jealousy, an offering of memorial, bringing iniquity to remembrance. And a priest shall bring her near and set her before Yahweh. And a priest shall take the holy water in an earthen vessel, and of the dust that is in the floor of the tabernacle. The priest shall take and put it into the water. And a priest shall set the woman before Yahweh, and uncover the woman's head, and put the offering of memorial in her hands, which is the jealousy offering. And the priest shall have in his hand the bitter water that caused the curse. And the priest shall charge her by an oath and say unto the woman, if no man have lain with you, and if you have not gone aside to uncleanness with another instead of your husband, be you free from this bitter water that caused the curse. But if you have gone aside to another instead of your husband, and if you be defiled, as some men have lain with you beside your husband, then the priest shall charge the woman with an oath of cursing, and the priest shall say to the woman, Yahweh make you a curse and an oath among your people. When Yahweh does make so like when Yahweh does make your thigh to rot and your belly to swell.
So that's a sign that she did backdoor a man. She committed adultery.
Right.
All right, you got somebody.
And,
I mean, for,
and you see all these Evites, a lot of Jake women have what cellulite.
yeah, I was about to read like for rot, it says to fall away, and that's what look. Let's say like look like the flesh, yeah, like the flesh is falling off.
Right.
The case.
Yeah, like the case.
Anybody got a Bible? But the point, man. All right, I got you. Hey, the point is those curses, man. You know, Jake, semen riding in a woman. You know, woman get a birth control, and her body doesn't go through its purification period. So, like a woman starts sweating, and she'll start emitting odors because her body she never had a cycle. She never had a cycle of months. So now she has the impurity just sitting up in her. She's a landfill. It's just riding, man.
Yeah, it's a video. I forget which brother had shared it. It was a video. It was some Eve on social media bragging about having bugs in her coochie, man. You know what I'm saying? And and pretty much like she was like pretty much talking to the guy, like FaceTiming him, like yeah, you the guy up in this, but yeah, I got bugs, and she was like, well, everyone that got bugs, like no the hell they don't.
But you know what? You know why Eve's so complacent like that? Because Jake ain't got no damn standards.
That's right.
Yeah, it's straight simp. Yeah. And simp ain't got no standards.
Advocate that type of behavior, that is general behavior.
So, because only in the black community, I'm gonna call it black, is Eve's behavior acceptable. As soon as Eve step out the black community, she'll realize that she doesn't, she don't hold it accountable.
That's the point. Like we always say, where are the Edomite sexy reds?
Yep.
The fucking Elam sexy reds.
And particularly those inner cities, man. The inner city, that's like the slum of Jake, man. And like that brings up the worst boogers of our nation, man. You see a little Eve, little rap video, man. It's horrible.
Yes.
I'm like only just a hood booger like you, man. All right, but yes.
No, that was it. I was just reading the definition for that.
I had just bring out this because Isaiah said it won't be no longer a sweet smell, but a stink, right? And everything y'all brothers bringing out is goes into an epidemic. You know what I'm saying? An epidemic is a widespread occurrence of an infectious disease. And so all these women, man, their behavior, the way they do things, it's like the having sex with multiple men. You know what I'm saying? Like leaving the man semen in, that's gonna cause a stink. You know what I'm saying? The terrible diet is gonna cause a stink. You know, the BBLs is gonna cause a stink. You know what I'm saying? Just hygiene in general, man. Right. And it's so many that's like that, man. Women don't know how to wipe themselves, clean themselves, man. A woman with them long ass hoggish nails, she can't clean herself properly when she go to the bathroom. So you know she's full of stink, man. She got crap residue on her butt. Right. Yeah. Disgusting, man. That stink, that's gonna bring forth that disease. A lot of infections.
Like tight clothing, how they breathe like it's supposed by wearing a dress.
If you wear a tight denim pants or tight leggings, like super leather pants, man. Now you're right. He does a YN. She talk like a YN. She like, bro. She know her best, bro. Look, I can't stand this. They call each other bro. Two females call each other bro. That shit it makes no sense, man. But you know what? The Most High gave them over to reprobate minds. You know, and they basically got men energy, nigga energy.
Who that said that? I think maybe you said that women are the new niggas.
Oh, well,
I think you said last week.
I think it was him quoting the brother from Chicago.
Yeah,
a modern so-called black woman. She's basically another nigga. All right.
It's Job 10:21. Before I go wicks, I should not return, even to the land of darkness and the shadow of death.
And that's America. It's a shadow of death because anywhere you go, you really flirt with death. You get in your car, hop on the interstate, you flirt with death. You be around Jake, you definitely flirt with death. Anywhere you go, it's a festival. A lot of times before the festival is over, it's a damn shootout.
Dealing with Eve, you burned with them.
You did-
The elder brought out the situation at the store.
Cause yeah,
Let's talk about what Satan is. Look at all these lights in the world. We have a grid.
that's right. That's right. Right.
We have a grid
Being lost.
to being lost.
No wisdom, because wisdom maketh the man face to shine. Wisdom is the oil. So the opposite of wisdom is the knowledge of wickedness, which ultimately goes back to Satanism. This is the land of witchcraft. And you can worship anything. You can worship yourself. You can worship a dog, you know? And that's what they call hyper-individualism. And in the West, it's full of hyper-individualism, man. And it's part of the love of many waxing cold. Nobody will fuck about each other.
That's right.
You know, your neighbor could be starving, whatever. Somebody could be dying upstairs. You don't care. You know? But nah, man, hey, there's two brands that's about to go out of style. Esau and Eve. Those are two brands. Made in America.
Dynamic duo, man. Karl Malone, John Stockton.
Edomite supremacy and feminism. It's two brands that's finna be out of existence, man.
Ain't no coming back.
The way of the East is the new way.
That's a stronghold being broken down right before our very own eyes.
We're-
With this end time prophecy.
We're watching it, bro.
We're watching.
Because hey, usually Jake is like, where the hoes at, right? But when you go to an establishment and a pack of Eve walk in, it's like, man, we gotta go. And they louder than us. And I'm loud. I'm a loud brother. Eve is louder than me, man.
Wow. Shit. Cackling hen. What the apostle called hyenas.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in the fucking jungle or something.
Wild animals. So it said, before I go whence, I shall not return even to the land of darkness and the shadow of death. And also the GNT, or the NOT goes into the land of darkness and utter gloom.
And that proved the prophets would come to America, man. Like the prophets would be here. You know, Job would be back against different men of the Lord. You know, and it shows you the main controversy in scripture as far as location wise, it's America, man. You know, that's why we're supposed to be here doing the work, man.
It's the main focal point. How about shall judge America?
And King David was coming over there too. You can receive that.
So just back up Elder Kazak, what did Donald Trump call us? The spirit, you know, prophets of doom, you know. So it says a land of darkness, that's darkness itself, and of the shadow of death, without any order, and where the light is as darkness.
And a shadow follows you, man. You know, if you see your shadow, reflection of your shadow, that motherfucker follows you everywhere you go. That's how death, even in America, anywhere, any opportunity, you know, hey, devil can present present itself.
Then let's go.
You know,
I'm sorry.
driving to work, having a relationship with a significant other. You at the bar, you standing in line for purchase something, you get done there.
Hey, you have sex and now you got the pack. You have sex, chick get your fucking STD or some shit, man.
Your food, your water,
Say it again.
your food and your water.
Yeah. No nutrients.
That's right.
This says without order, that nobody's under the law, statutes, and commandments. Everybody's going off their lower nature. This is a low nature society. Let's go.
This really applies to our time doing hardcore slavery, which can also apply to them, because we still in the land of our captivity. All right, it's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse 66. And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life.
I remember when I used to make it home when I was a little one. Every time we made it to the doorstep, mom be like, "Thank you, JC, we made it home safe." You know, she always say that, like, "Hey, thank you that we made it home safe." Man.
There's a saying among Jake too, just, you know, instead of Jake saying, you know, hey, see you later or goodbye, Jake would be like, hey, be safe.
Yeah, be safe. And they be like, Lord say the same, I do this too.
They
Lord
show,
say the same.
they showed a good example of that on the movie Menace to Society came out in 1993. McCain and this is the other guy, the Muslim guy, Sharif, when they was riding, you know what I'm saying? He's about to drop Sharif off. He got pulled over by the cops. When we said, I got my registration, I got everything that's so-called legal in this system. They still got taken down, man. Got beat by the cops.
And speaking on that, you can be legal. Go wars, you got your license, you have your insurance, nothing in the car, and them blue lights come, shit, you shook.
That's a form of PTSS, post-traumatic stress syndrome. You know, that's what only you see these people going through in the valley of the shadow of death, man.
And them cops know how to do you too, man. Like they'll know certain places, like don't nobody like go there, and certain times at night they'll just throw you in the cop car, drive you there, man, and whoop on you, man.
Hey, it's behind a precinct. Is it Clan? One of those little cities. It's like 200 dead bodies up under the unaccounted for.
One in Jackson.
One in Jackson.
Jackson, not really. Rain? I think it was rain. Yeah.
Somewhere in this vicinity. Was it 200 bodies?
Yeah.
It was 200 bodies unaccounted for.
Yeah.
It's like and nobody really. Like, there's no federal investigation.
Just a cemetery.
Just a cemetery. 200 bodies unaccounted. What are these bodies called? Unmarked, man.
Nation not desired, bro. Hey, this book of Psalm 10 and 8. It says, he sitteth in the lurking places of the villages, and he's referring to Esau Edom, the form of the police,
And the surveillance cameras.
surveillance cameras.
And that's why they set up these Edomite cops in near the hoods to patrol, man, so they can be easy targets.
And they'll do it like right by like a club, Jake, like when you get out, they're intoxicated,
And they do that shit a show.
Exactly.
Or the bulldog was packing. Hey, how many times have we left for another spot we go to all the time? We used to go to all the time. We don't ever see no roadblocks.
That's right.
And them people might be fucked up.
No.
They got Jackson on lock though, bro.
Yeah, they got to set up towards a slave port. Like, basically, it's like the police got to set up to where really Jake don't like leaving Jackson.
Yeah.
Jake don't like leaving Jackson. So it's like a slave headquarters, man.
Yeah. Once they reach, Pearl,
Yeah.
man, it's like the boundary.
They be like, nah, I ain't going there.
I watched a Chicago documentary like that drill shit. They were just saying like, man, you got Jakes in Chicago, haven't been downtown Chicago yet.
Yep.
So they just been,
That's facts though, bro.
yeah, they just been pretty much compacted in that particular area,
Concrete jungle.
concrete jungle.
What did you call it, man? It was post-traumatic
Slave syndrome.
syndrome. But you know how that goes back to slavery, man. That the other brought out, like Jake don't want to leave Jackson. So it's like that pass that them Edomites would give a slave to travel, man. But they don't want to go out these perimeters. But when it comes to going out, they worried about seeing them lights, man, which the torch goes into the siren lights. The dog's barking goes into the actual siren, man. So when they leave up out of here, they worried about, you know what I'm saying, that slave patrol coming on their ass, and they end up getting hemmed up, man.
You could be in this point in the video. What we call it?
The patty rollers.
Yeah,
They go back to 12 years a slave.
Yeah.
But you know what? They have all that fear for the police just to go to an establishment where they're the biggest threat to themselves.
Yes, sir.
You got to go through the police, and you want to navigate through the police just to go to this club where you're your own worst enemy. You know?
Back up the design, you read that in Deuteronomy 28:66. Another assurance of thy life.
Can we read it again? Yeah. Okay. All right, it's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse 66. Starts verse 65 for you, Bible shop. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but the Lord, Yahweh Shem Shai, shall give thee there a trembling heart and failing of eyes.
If you got a trembling heart, it means what? You're anxious. You scared. You're fearful. Yeah, you're not at ease.
Hey, well,
That's the stress.
Well, it's Chicago cats. They send those guys in the inner city. They got the same level of stress as somebody over in the war zone overseas. And then when they doing the interviews, they looking to the left, looking to the right.
It became so powerful because it became a term called no lacking. That's why you see them on interviews, they always checking out, how can you live a so-called life like that?
And isn't it evident that while we're talking about this as a kid with a little gun like shooting over them?
Play guns become real guns after a while.
Practice make perfect.
Finish it off, people. Now it says, all right, Salaki. And shall have, Now it says, but the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart and failing of eyes and sorrow of mind. And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life.
So right here from sharp.com, just going to the point right here, says, how do these events connect to African Americans' physical and mental health? They add to PTSS, post-traumatic slave syndrome, a term coined by internationally renowned researcher Dirk DeGroot, PhD, to describe the multi-generational trauma and injustices experienced by African Americans from the dawn of slavery to the recent deaths of Black citizens.
So Esau understand reincarnation. If you think about it, they understand reincarnation, right? Because they know that if you do this to these people, that it's still gonna carry out. So being that DNA for periods, I mean, from generations of it, from one generation to another generation.
Because
They know this.
I always bring up this example. If you ever had a Labrador retriever, a golden retriever, you throw a tennis ball, they haul ass in the tennis ball and bring it back every time. You didn't train that golden retriever to play fetch. But 500 years ago, hunters bred them particularly and specifically when they shoot that bird out the sky, they're gonna bring that bird back to them. So in that Labrador is subconscious, he thinks that ball is a bird, but it's been bred through his breed, generation through generation. And by the time you get that particular breed, he already knows the assignment. So same thing with being pushed off the boats, jumping off the boats, been beat, watching our family get martyred. You know what I mean? Get chased by bloodhounds. Jenkins like has a different type of fear of animals. You know, swimming, or it's the fear of an Edomite. Yeah, you know, you ever walk into I ain't gonna say fear, but you walk into an office and it's Edomite people you got an altitude. It's like weird energy. It's awkward energy, man.
It's like you know that they got the upper hand on
you. Know they got the upper hand, man.
Kind of remind me of like those border collies.
Yeah,
it was like sheepdogs.
Yeah,
you know, they like it's embedded in them to go, to hunt sheep. You know, so just chasing sheep, control sheep. Man.
Yeah. Why do you think Jake's still won? Goes back to the same jumping off of fucking ships, or you get thrown off.
Or Jake get around an Edomite ask you a question, and Jake get all friendly.
Yeah.
Like they be in survival mode. Like Eve get friendly. Eve answer the phone call to make an effort to sound like an Edomite woman. Like, why are you sounding like an Edomite woman? You in survival mode. Because when Esau when he was an agrarian king down here, he broke Jake in. He saw Candyland, Django Unchained.
Video I did, it was going to like those terrorists in the heroin industry.
Yeah.
And he said why they do it because they can't get jobs and stuff like that. So it shows you inwardly they feel they have low self-esteem about their so-called natural hair. So that's why they adopt to these other heathen nations customs by wearing these wigs and shit like that.
But even the bitch be famous though, like Lil Kim.
So it's no excuse.
Serena Williams, yeah, those bitches be millionaires and they'll get that bag and bleach their skin, have blonde hair, blue contacts, get a Edomite husband, you like a fucking loser. Here it is. The average Jake look like him, right? The average Jake about 6 feet. He could easily get a Jake that's ripped up. Serena Williams got a like you got to look at her husband, man.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. Like bro. But when it comes to us, Jake got to be 6 feet, 6 figures, this thing. But when it comes to Massa, we like shit.
So just back up Elephant's out, we just read, says PTSS has similarities to the more widely known diagnosis of post-traumatic stress disorder, which is PTSD. It says similar signs to include avoiding certain places, people, that said Edomites.
Because you don't want to, most the average Jake doesn't want to go to an establishment where there's nothing but Edomites. Like we might know a brother, right? You might have a friend, a Jake friend. He cool with all the Edomites.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you cool with this shit? And he cool with him. I was like, bro, this don't feel, yeah. What a niggas at, man? Just some struggle.
Bro, it's been like some energy, like, I mean, I know it's just a movie, but art imitate life. Like you say, bro, art imitate the scriptures. Like you know around certain Edomites, man, like it'd be like that they get out type spirit.
It's subtle.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, what the like job used to work? I'm like, bro, this is weird as fuck. I'm surrounded by Edomites. It's like they call it a white space. You a Jake moving in white space. When you're the only Jake and you surrounded by the Edomites still working this weird ass energy, but it's like subtle, microaggressive, passive aggressive shit going on. It ain't direct nigger shit, And you know,
Look at you funny.
they look or they be joking with you, trying to force you to laugh with them. You know,
Still joke.
still like, bro, this,
Or make you take a drink.
Yeah, they gonna try about you drinking in the bar.
yeah, like this energy weird. But what I was gonna say, oh, why does Jake feel uncomfortable down south talking to anybody? Yeah, a lot of Jakes down south, it's comfortable with talking to an Edomite woman, especially like in public. Ironically, it's either get you off.
Like the white is, I'm just trying to get a half a grandpa.
Just,
Yeah.
man, I
Still
don't
don't do it. Yeah,
I don't know if it was a comedian I heard or an older Jake was telling me, but I don't know if maybe brothers done noticed this or haven't noticed it, but when you see Jake walking somewhere, and you don't know what you do, you throw your head up, right?
yeah.
But when you see an Edomite, you do this. I noticed back in the day, I used to do that shit, like do that, you know,
It was
something like that. Self-conscious.
It was
With no
subconscious.
Huh?
No, fuck no. Hey, how about my shot woke us up?
That's right. Yeah.
Hey, what was this survival mode, man? And it was a great shame, but hey, we all got in our back on the plantation, we had to bow our fucking head, man. We had to bow, but guess what, man? Hey, those bones is risen, man. Break every fucking chain, man.
And we whistling white holes in Mississippi.
And we holler at them. We holler at them. You funny. Hey, we holler at them. Hey, you know what? Because Edmund Till, that's my cousin. Distant. But hey, look, that's irrelevant. But we holler at them. You know?
See, they like it.
Well, the most racist county got the most friendliest Edomite women.
Yeah. And them Edomite women, man, they was taking Jake to town back in them plantations, man.
Yeah, they still do, bro. Because you had Edomite women that own plantations, they'll be secret. But they workers. What do you call it? Fraternization? Or whatever the fuck they was doing. Yeah, they was messing with Jake on the plantation, man.
Look at this movie Life. We can't get right.
Yeah.
The sheriff's daughter had to have him, man.
Speechless, still not.
Yeah.
So it says, avoiding certain places, people, or activities and events that may remind the individual of the trauma or experience.
Because you think, so like,
That's what you saying, bro.
you know, Jake knew what was happening at them lynching services, man. They all the Edomites will gather around. You know, they gonna either crucify or mutilate, set Jake on fire, man. And some of them family members off a distance, hearing the commotion and knowing what was going on, man.
Making eye contact.
Yeah.
And you know what I noticed though? A lot of Edomites feel uncomfortable around the brothers.
Yeah.
Like Edomite men, Edomite men, they get around because brothers got their spirit on them, and they're feeling uncomfortable around brothers. Man. It's like, bro, who's this guy?
Right.
Like, you know, like he don't move like these niggas.
Now they gonna ask questions.
Yeah, it's like on the job or whatever. You might not do it on a conscious level.
Right.
Because people tell me all the time, like, bro, smile, you like you're mad at the world. But yeah, I noticed that a lot of Edomite men, they don't feel comfortable around Jake down here, bro. They don't feel comfortable around brothers, man.
They really be fearful.
Yeah, it's a fear. They be fearful.
Especially like elevator.
Yeah.
You might be up there, kind of jump.
Yeah.
That's what it's a few times.
That's why most I get y'all guns, man.
All right. So it said difficulty concentrating, feeling jumpy, or being easily angered. Appearing emotionally numb, also called vacant esteem. This includes feelings of hopelessness, depression, and a general self-destructive outlook.
Hey, Jake in America, man. You know, Jake got post-traumatic slaves, and that's all 12 tribes. Because I can't forget about bro now, Northern Kingdom. If you think you better than us because you look more like the man that conquered you, you got post-traumatic slave syndrome. You think you better than us because you look more like Massa.
Right.
You a damn slave, man. You broken, man. All
So it shows you how you feel about you by what he just did, man. Ain't no telling what the hell these so-called Mexicans that, man, after they've been deported there. Some of them might be in Guantanamo Bay somewhere.
And then migrants in general, because Esau Edom, he's not just getting Issachar, right? He gets some of all the tribes, even among the Southern Kingdom.
Yep,
You know?
get in the mix.
You remember the Haitian situation? With Levi? And Jake is next. The average, you think Esau gonna let YNs roam his team forever?
Right.
No, the next target is Jake. This is gradualism right here. Because everybody will accept the whole immigrant narrative. Everybody accepted that shit for the most part. Even Northern Kingdom accepted that. But now it's gonna get local. Because now that there's a crisis in the cities. Crime rate sky high.
These so-called white South Africans coming over here.
Yep.
So Esau tapping more into the Edomite supremacy, man. When they say make America great again, that's talking about making so-called white America great again. You know, it doesn't benefit the tribes.
And you're gonna find out that Esau doesn't perceive you as humans.
Right.
When Moses raised this nigga up in power, he flipped it. We're the leper on the earth. In his mind, we're the subspecies. We're the people that's incorrect, and our brains are inferior. And that's the beginning of genocide is dehumanization.
And you have to be a nation of color in order to be a human. So Esau is not human. Because human goes into color.
Yep. So you're the incorrect species, but the Most High raised you up, and now you're running around with your propaganda. It's Twilight Zone, man.
These pure blood, I would say these pure blood Americans, they love to scream about, vocalize, about their so-called Constitution. So part of the Constitution, so-called Negro, is considered 3/5 of a man. So so that ties right into this Edomite supremacy that we said coming about, this great reset.
You brought up the slogan of Trump, make America great again. So how did America become great? Off the free labor of Israelites, man. So they want to go back to having Israel truly under their foot, man, under a different type of submission like they had back in since the transatlantic slave trade, man. They want Jake at a minimum. What I mean by that, kill as many of you all. Like the elders saying, they finna knock off a lot of these little young niggas and anybody else that could become collateral damage. And the rest just gonna be, whatever they desire to do with you, man. Be a little slave, whatever, man.
And Big Trump in the cut Section 8.
Yeah.
So, but it's good because, Eve has set her house in slippery places.
Yeah.
That's not natural to have sex with random niggas, then you pop babies.
Right.
Then you live in some artificial habitat called Section 8.
That's the job now.
That's the job now, man. Now, that's why the elders established marriages. We had arranged marriages. Men, we had what do you call it? It was like interpersonal banking.
Yeah.
You married your daughter to my son.
Yeah. And everybody, the son and the daughter, their family give them portion of the land and so much money, and they get to start building. And generational wealth start progressing, man.
So you having babies in artificial habitats. Now he finna pull that rug from under your feet. So now it's gonna be Eve with 4 random kids asking for help. And now, they asked Charles White about this shit. He was like, "Yeah, it's cool. It's gonna raise up prostitution." He was like, "They're just gonna create more prostitution." And it's like, Eve, you are already a harlot, but now it's but you know what that happens when all of y'all doing the same thing? The value plummets even more.
You know how much sex he's gonna have? To 4,000?
Because it's gonna be short-lived. Prostitution is gonna be short-lived, man. Because when this society collapses, the monetary system collapses, they're gonna be getting ravished, man. They're gonna be working at you, man. You gonna have to, hey.
Oh, you coming?
But a woman having a hustle, that's a first world privilege anyway. You gonna understand the concept of a woman being booty or spoiled or property. Because when everybody gets to that third world state, how can you ever say so when I'm stronger than you?
Right.
I'm not gonna just pull your arm and say, "Come with me."
They ain't gonna go back into that ancient spirit.
Yes, he's gonna get hey man, like a woman really talking.
Hey,
That's the first world shit.
I realized that shit with my mom. You come in your teens, she was talking.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I am stronger. You know what I'm saying? But she told me, you ever think about it? You know what I'm saying? She already knew. I had size up. I'm like, man,
Because when a nigga nuts drop, when Jake nuts drops, a woman's you can't be dominated by your mama like that.
yeah.
What I mean by that is you instinctively don't really respect
Right.
it. You know the laws
Script say, honor
your father and your mother. But that's why
That's proved out. That's why you're supposed to have the fathers there.
you
know what I'm saying to continue that discipline.
and that's why your ass. Yeah, and I know, because I know you don't look at your dad like I can take him. And also when you hit puberty, really it's time to go into interservitude, which is really an apprenticeship. And then when you finish with that, you got your own establishment. At 12, because I even heard Jake talk about it in Africa, certain parts of Africa, based on what Jake said. And by the time you're 12, you can build a house, you can do this, you can really an established man by the time you're 12, depending on the culture.
That's why you all shot with. Did what he did. He started the ministry. He was 12.
What you said, bro. You said apprenticeship, right?
Yep.
So once a boy gets a certain age, he go do what? He go be with his father. Like you said, once the nuts drop, yeah, his time with nurturing and with mama, that shit really kind of old with. You know what I'm saying?
The nurturing leave is slow. It's a lot, bro. The nursing stage is from infancy to about 4 years old. So when a little boy 4, he's already around men and things of that nature. But like I said, really by the time you're 12, you're in adulthood.
Look at Jacob LeBlanc.
Yep.
You know, he came back what filthy,
Yeah.
wealthy. You know,
But let's say you're 12 and you're not established. So you send your son off into a ditch of servitude. That's why it says if you have a female a daughter, you should not send her off as being servants. Meaning a man servant, you go in a ditch of servitude. After the 6th year, you're free, but you have resources now. But the point is, man, we had laws, we had systems within our laws. They created order within our nation, man. So Eve already been living in an artificial existence with her life, careless, man. You just having babies by random niggas. You got her house. Esau paid you to sell out your nation, and you created a degenerate species of men. Hey, but what y'all had any closing statements? All right, with that, hope you brothers and sisters edified. Once again, we want to give our honor and glory to.
Yeah, how about you know, shout about you,
Never understand our elder apostles, elder bishops of great millstone well. Peace and blessings, health and wellness to the house of David the elect. Bible.
Come here, Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom, shalom.
Okay.